the untrained eye, these men were like any normal groundwork crew, carrying out jobs on everyday residential streets. Turning up in high-vis workwear, vans and decked out with professional equipment, the group travelled the breadth of the country. The gang were in fact carrying out crude and often dangerous work, splicing the electrical cables from the street's national grid and redirecting the current into houses which had been set up as cannabis farms. Their employers were Albanian drug gangs, who in turn were trafficking vulnerable people from overseas to come and work in horrific conditions in their multi-million-pound earning enterprises. Detective Chief Inspector Zoe Russo from the North West Regional Crime Unit's operation team told the Echo that although the gang were below the Albanians in a criminal hierarchy, the nature of their offending completely enabled the cannabis farms to be run. She added they were absolutely as culpable. It wouldn't be able to happen without them. Last week, 8 of the gang, Ross McGinn, Andrew Roberts, Greg Black, Lewin Charles, Aidan Doran, Graham Roberts, Jack Sherry and Colin White were all sentenced following a 2-day hearing at Liverpool Crown Court. Michael Ashurst will be sentenced this week, while a 10th defendant, who the Echo has chosen not to name due to the fact he is facing the possibility of further charges, will be sentenced at a later date. The gang were led by McGinn, a 32-year-old from Highton, and a 42-year-old Wiganer, Andrew Roberts. They were the directors of Elevate Civils and Utilities Limited, a business that was registered legitimately on Companies House as being involved in construction of water projects. McGinn and Roberts both also had LinkedIn profiles where they posted photos of apparently legitimate work to promote the company. Although the gang had been involved in splicing electricity for the drugs gang since at least November 2020, the company was not incorporated by the pair as directors until 19th of January 2022, with Henry Riding, a barrister who prosecuted the case, telling the court it suggested the company was set up in furtherance of the conspiracy. All in all, the defendants were involved in 54 digs where they spliced electricity into around 100 cannabis farms. The cannabis farms were set up in everything from empty houses and pubs to hotels, and on one occasion an empty department store. McGinn and Andrew Roberts ran the day-to-day side of the business, with the former directing the other members of the gang, while the latter communicated with a 10th unnamed defendant to liaise with the Albanian OCGs to find new projects. Both McGinn and Andrew Roberts were experienced in their relevant fields. McGinn had been working as a ground worker since his release from prison in 2016 and was said to have taken on the illegal work following cash flow issues. Andrew Roberts, on the other hand, had previously owned an electrical company and made repeated references to being able to join cables. However, the most skilled member of the gang was Graham Roberts. He was a cable joiner by trade and was described as an integral part of the gang's work, responsible for splicing and connecting the live cable to run the new feed to the premises for the intended cannabis farm. He was the person most frequently seen working down a hole or at the cutout while wiring or testing circuits. The success of the gang came from how they were able to operate in plain sight. Investigating officer James Tapley told the Echo, "I would describe this operation as sophisticated in its simplicity. It's so plausible. How many people would walk out and see workmen on the road and question it?" If all 54 events were factored in, the value of drugs seized from the farms would be around £21 million. But this was valued off just one crop per farm, with the true profits from the cannabis farm being significantly higher. The cannabis farms were harvested every 80 days, with each grow cycle using around £250,000 of stolen electricity. The gang operated for years before they were linked to the plot. On January 30th, 2023, officers from North Wales Police raided a disused premises on Bangor's High Street and found a cannabis farm worth more than £1 million. Officers discovered the electricity had been illegally diverted into the premises, and after CCTV showed a van leaving the area, the investigation was passed on to the North West Regional Crime Unit. Appearing before Judge David Potter at Liverpool Crown Court this week, all the defendants apart from White were to be sentenced for encouraging or assisting the production of cannabis and conspiracy to abstract electricity. McGinn, Andrew Roberts and White were sentenced for conspiracy to steal, while White alone was also sentenced for encouraging or assisting the abstraction of electricity. McGinn, aged 33 of Midway Road in Highton, was sentenced to 5 years and 4 months, while Andrew Roberts, aged 42, and of Bell Lane in Wigan, was jailed for 6 years. Graham Roberts, 47 years of age, and of Brighton Close in Wigan, was jailed for 5 years and 3 months, while Black, 29, and and of Brookwood Close in Huyton, received 3 years and 9 months. Charles, aged 22, and of Stanhope Drive in Roby, was jailed for 2 years and 8 months, while Doran, aged 28, and of Ormskirk Road in Wigan, received 3 years. White, 62 years old, and of Warnerville Road in Broad Green, was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months, while Sherry, aged 20, and of Keats Avenue in Wigan, was sentenced to 22 months, suspended for 18 months, and 100 hours of unpaid work. McGinn and Andrew Roberts were also handed a 3-year serious crime prevention order.